Welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tapping in. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe if you like videos like this.
Like a normal one? Uh-oh. Are we gonna be okay? Uh-oh.
This is what I've been told. Because Trump finally had a briefing and said that there are these half-breeds, or the Nordic aliens, are like somewhat resemble humans, and they have been experimenting with crossbreeding with humans. That there are a few hundred years more advanced than we are. But the briefings he's had describe aliens that are crossbreeds living in the world. He joked in the briefing. He joked that Adam Schiff must be one of them.
Otra vez están escuchando ruidos. Estaba aquí haciendo el recorrido, pero escuché un ruido aquí adentro. No sé si estaba crujiendo algo o no sé si... No sé. Qué raro. Ya no sé realmente qué hacer. Todo me extraña de este lado. Ya no sé qué hacer. Ya realmente no sé qué es lo que voy a hacer. Ya no entiendo ni qué es lo que está... ¿Qué cojones? No mames. Sácate a la verga, al chile, pinche mamada. Su puta madre. ¿Qué es eso? ¿Hay alguien ahí? ¿Qué es eso? ¿Qué se ve ahí al fondo? Oh, no mames. ¿Qué tal?
So I've known about this for several years, but it seems like it's kind of popping on TikTok right now, like it's something new. But yo, check this out. Check this map out that's supposedly in the United Nations building at 666 whatever street in New York. But besides that, check out this outer ring right here. This thing right here, which I'm sure y'all will know where this is going. So with that in mind, let's go play with Google Earth real quick. Let's go over here to this big thing, this big glob right here that we're forbidden to go to, fly over, or access any knowledge from for some strange reason. Let's do it. Let's add a point. Let's go around. Let's put it right on Leviathan's head, the serpent from the sea that's about to come alive from the Bible. Alright, add point, add point, add point. Alright, so I have circled, let's all agree, I've enclosed Antarctica, right? And all I'm going to do is connect this and then hit close shape. Whoa. What the fuck? Why did it do that? Why would it turn in to a circle? It's Antarctica. It's a continent In Antarctic Circle. Oh. I guess they do have to tell us, don't they?
Watch the plane go into the building, go into the World Trade Center. Amazing story. That alone is an amazing story. He was delayed because his wife insisted that he finally, after years, take his child to school. So he took his child to school that one day, because normally he would have been in the building at 6 o'clock in the morning. That's that business, right? So you owe your wife a lot and your child a lot, right?
This the way we supposed to go?
Yes.
I don't think I want to go through this.
I don't either. Dad, we still black.
Boss, we've got to go back. What do you mean?
This is horrible. Come back to
Help. Help. Oh, how can I help? What? Is there a way I can help? I need help.
Now that Mr. Beast has officially shown his true colors, we need to keep our children and everybody away from his propaganda. If you don't already know, Mr. Beast is the #1 YouTuber with 450 million followers. And lately, since his Rockefeller partnership, he's been pushing lab-grown meat with Bill Gates' Upside Foods and brain chips with Elon's Neuralink. And it always starts with pulling on our heartstrings to gradually introduce the real evil that's behind the product. It will save the chickens. It will make the paraplegic walk again. The world must understand that the advertised version of certain products are not the end game of these products. The end game is the total control of our body and our perceptions, so don't be fooled by this synthetic smile. And by the way, I received thousands of messages over the years saying that they always felt like something was off with this dude. That's not a coincidence. It means that you're dialed in, and it's okay to trust our instincts. We need to believe in our power to sense danger, and this puppet's propaganda is dangerous.
In 1991, the Department of Energy broke ground on the world's longest tunnel system. It was supposed to be the most sophisticated scientific machine in the world, a particle accelerator 3 times the size of CERN. The project was called the Superconducting Super Collider, and at full power it would have smashed protons together at 40 trillion electron volts, dwarfing the energy potential of CERN. Crews drilled 17 massive access shafts, bored over 50 miles of tunnel, and completed an office facility on the property, on top of a 100-mile limestone slab in Waxahachie, Texas. After 2 years of building in 1993, Congress abruptly pulled the plug on the project. The tunnels were sealed up and the equipment was scrapped. To this day, almost no one, not even in Texas, remembers this project, although local residents claim to see strange lights and orbs coming from the property.
Luke 21:11, and this brings up the subject of UFOs.
I love it how you bring everything back to the Bible. This is so
Thank
good.
you, brother. Well, in Luke 21:11, Jesus was talking about signs we'll see at the very, very end of the age.
Yes.
And he said there'll be fearful sights and great signs from the heavens. That word fearful sights in Greek is the word phobotron. And anybody who knows Greek knows how it should be translated, and no one wants to translate it correctly because it is so bizarre. It is the Greek word for monsters. It literally means there shall be monsters. And Jesus is talking about the end of the age, and he connects it to the next statement, and great signs from the heavens. And the word from in Greek is the word apo. It describes things coming out of the heavens, which will be connected with the appearance of monsters. Well, Jesus said in Matthew 24:37, as it was in the days of Noah, before the flood, it's going to be replicated exactly at the end of the age. Well, what was happening before the flood? Things were coming down out of the sky, and the result was monstrous creatures. And Jesus said, that is going to be replicated again at the end of the age. So today, we have this fixation with UFOs. Now we have senatorial hearings.
Yes.
A new documentary about a big disclosure was just released. People are really talking about this. And just like Jesus said, there's a fixation on the heavens. People are looking up, but I really don't believe these are extraterrestrial beings. I believe they're interdimensional beings, spiritual beings. Just like the angels came down before the flood, things are coming down out of the heavenly realm, and the result is going to be monstrous things.
There's so many demons in Call of Duty. Do you know this one?
No, I actually
Because
don't.
it's going viral on TikTok because some guy is going on top of cars.
Yeah.
And you know how like there's explosions on the cars?
Mhm.
Those explosions make demonic faces, Carlos.
Oh, they make like images?
Yes. 322 Skull and Bones.
Mhm.
1515-6 on like a thing.
Oh,
on top of the cars.
I
And
see
there's
what you're
more.
saying.
Look, it says A64 for the Masonic symbol. A demon on the wall because it's like fire. There's so much. And this is a kid's game. All seeing eye carpet.
Black Ops 2, that map everyone played on, it was like a mall.
Yes.
They have a logo, and in that logo of the mall is the symbol for the PDF.
Yeah. So that's why they do it. To get to us, you have to do it subliminally, and you have to do it when the mind isn't paying attention. And usually kids, they're just on the game with their friends.
Scientists just pulled bacteria out of 5,000-year-old ice, and it is already resistant to 10 different antibiotics before it ever even touched a human. This is obviously terrifying, but this team of researchers in Romania just dug into one of the oldest underground ice blocks on the entire planet. And by the way, they found a bacteria species that's been frozen for over 5,000 years. Okay, so leave it alone. And this is where it gets insane, because whenever they tested it against modern antibiotics, which is what we use right now in hospitals, it was resistant to 10 of them. Across 8 different drug classes, by the way, including the heavy stuff like 3rd generation last resort antibiotics. Believe it or not, that's not even the crazy part, because whenever they sequenced the genome, they found over 100 different resistant genes. They're saying that this thing developed antibiotic resistance thousands of years before we even invented antibiotics. The bacteria right now is officially technically classified as an opportunistic human pathogen, which means that under the right conditions, it can affect people. Maybe, hear me out, maybe we should leave it alone.
He was supposed to be left frozen for a reason.
They're trying to engineer the end of the world. There were people in power scripting the book of Revelations to bring about the end of the world. They want to do this. These religious nuts, I guess you would call it, people that are I don't know why they'd want to do that. I think it's a shadow government, and that's why they're building bunkers and all of that, is because they're trying to engineer the end of the world. Yeah, and that's what she told me. That's what the beings told me. That they were trying to bring about the end of the world, and if we go that route, it would end up in Armageddon, and like the Bible says, Jesus comes back and saves the world, right? So that's what I was talking about with Sean Ryan. Was that timeline. But the other timeline, they said, was that the reset button didn't have to happen if we made the choice to seek the light and remove the darkness from and that they were going to help. And that's by waking us up.
Disaster right now. Kitchen's worse, I know. Yeah. Just ignore my dog.
We now know why everyone is actually afraid of global warming. Now, for years, everyone thought it was because it would flood everything. But there's a report going viral that reveals the truth. It isn't about the ocean at all. It's actually about a dragon. So the report claims that long before written history, a dragon from another planet crashed into Earth. It was drawn here by one resource that it needs to survive: gold. It went on a rampage for years, collecting and hoarding piles of gold. But then the Ice Age began and temperatures dropped, freezing the dragon deep into the ice caps, where it stays frozen to this day. In fact, the Bible mentions this exact scenario, where a dragon is locked away, waiting to be freed. But now everyone is asking, what happens if it actually gets released?
Remember when the United Kingdom said America's socioeconomic disposition could be manipulated and the financial markets could collapse if the American government confirms the existence of alien life on the planet? According to the FBI, the World Economic Forum, and the Council of Foreign Relations, they said that Iran has the ability to shut down the power grid with a cyber attack, which is a electromagnetic post efficiency, which is equated to the 10 days of darkness. Because when you shut down the power grid, you shut down the banks and all technological devices. So it's not a coincidence that the Trump administration and the American government is beefing with Iran right now in real time, which is basically the epitome of World War III. Now remember, I was telling you guys that the Bible is nothing but a Freemasonic playbook, because when you get into biblical context, when you're talking about Ezekiel 38 and 39, it's talking about the unification process of Gog and Magog, which is basically in real time Iran, China, and Russia that attacks Israel, which controls America. So with that being said, when you're talking about the Trump administration, talking about alien disclosure, they're actually giving you a warning that the banks are about to collapse from foreign militarized groups like Iran for the 10 days of darkness.
Hey everyone. I just wanted to quickly make this video to prove to you that we can no longer trust anything that we see with our eyes. We can't trust images that we see on social media. We can't trust videos. We can't trust our friends. We can't trust the news. We can't trust anything or anyone. So be careful out there.
I got a crazy conspiracy for you, TikTok, but keep in mind this is just for entertainment purposes. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. So I'm pretty sure that there is a portal to hell behind the H in the Hollywood sign. So I'm going down the Epstein files rabbit hole, and I keep coming back to the satanic bullshit. And then I remembered that Dr. Evil's lair was behind the Hollywood sign. And then it clicked to me that in Percy Jackson, that little portal to hell was behind the H in the Hollywood sign. And then I remembered Wizards of Waverly Place. And in the episode called Dancing with the Angels, funny enough, the portal to this little hell world was behind the H in the Hollywood sign. And what's crazy is that in each one of these movies and TV shows, behind the Hollywood sign is somebody evil. Like this guy right here hijacked the moral compass so that he could influence everybody in the world to make bad decisions. Now ain't that just like Hollywood? Don't they sit there and brainwash us through the movies, music, and TV shows to get us to do whatever they want us to? And then in Percy Jackson, they literally went to hell. They literally went to Hades through the portal in the Hollywood sign. And then what's really crazy is when you factor in that some 200 angels were cast out of heaven, and that Los Angeles means the city of angels. You picking up what I'm putting down?
El primer nombre que mencionó fue Carlos Slim. Bueno, esto ocurre en el año 2009. La chica, en efecto, era una modelo. Se llama Gabriela Rico Jiménez. En ese entonces, ella, pues, la verdad que se veía bastante alterada en ese video que le tomaron. Ella estaba gritando porque dice que había ido a una fiesta de la élite en Monterrey y que había visto cosas horribles.
¡Comieron humanos! ¡Asquerosidad! ¡Comieron humanos!
Decían, esta es una chava loquita, ¿no? Una chava que probablemente consumió algo y está toda alterada diciendo cosas sin sentido. Ahorita que salió todos estos archivos, te das cuenta que las cosas que decía tienen bastante sentido, bastante peso y son bastante serias. Involucran a las élites. De hecho, ella comenta que la habían tenido retenida. Estaba bastante alterada porque las personas que estaban yendo a agarrarla, los guardias, eran las mismas personas que la habían tenido retenida antes de que llegara ahí. Estaba bastante alterada y decía, están yendo para sacar papeles para encerrarme otra vez, porque sabía que se la iban a llevar y probablemente no iba a ver otra vez la luz del día. Pues prácticamente eso pasó. Se dice que se la llevaron a un manicomio y ya no se volvió a saber nada de ella. Sí dejó bastantes cosas extrañas porque había dicho que la élite mexicana o sea, el primer nombre que mencionó fue Carlos Slim.
Que por cierto aparece en estos nuevos documentos de Jeffrey Epstein.
One of the ones that gets a lot of people are flight routes. So from New Zealand, right, we got Australia around the corner here. Yeah, we got Argentina and South America. FlightAware says this is the shortest route. We don't have to go over Antarctica and disturb the penguins. There's actual islands out here that they could land on. So there's no excuse why we wouldn't fly here, right? But the actual flight route goes from New Zealand across the equator to San Francisco, across the United States to Texas, and then all the way back down, Ben. That's the route that it takes. And when we look at it on a flat earth map, New Zealand, San Francisco, Houston, Texas, Argentina.
Straight shot.
It's always a straight shot, right?
That's the thing that convinced me. That's the thing that I looked at the flight patterns and I'm like, it doesn't make any sense.
All these people from Wellington wanted to go to Lima, Peru to see the pyramids, but they had to stop in Los Angeles.
It's insane.
It's absolutely insane.
President Trump wants to release the alien files right now, right after the Epstein files, because we're going to soon learn that these friends of Epstein were all aliens the whole time. That's why they were doing those horrific crimes that no human being would do. Obamos and Trump were not joking when they were talking about aliens. They were being completely serious. Maybe they had to say it in a bit of a satirical way, just so that no one would absolutely freak out more than they are right now. But it had to be this way. And Trump literally just posted a statement on X saying that he is going to release the UFO files because of tremendous interest shown about it. Like, of course, people are gonna have tremendous interest about aliens being revealed. People have been wondering about this since the 1940s. We've had soft disclosure over the last 20 years. It's been in all the media, it's been in all the movies, and people are slowly getting ready for this to be able to accept that there are other beings out there, and it's not going to be as much of a shock in 2026, especially after people learn the truth about all that horrifying stuff that went on in the Epstein files.
The lack of dust in those rooms really bothers me.
In mid-2023, a terminally ill insider posted on 4chan claiming he had direct knowledge of a classified UAP program. He said most UAPs aren't visitors. They're unmanned drones, built to spec, spheres for surveillance, tic-tacs for extreme speed. When he was asked about the aliens, he said they weren't traditional beings. He called them biological containers. They're manufactured. They're not born. They're printed alongside the crafts. They got no digestive systems, no reproductive organs. They're all identical units, essentially biological drones for the consciousness operating them. They're engineered bodies used as equipment. He said they're constructed by a mobile automated facility hidden deep in the ocean, and it relocates when it's threatened. If you approach it, it neutralizes you, then it disappears. Officials allegedly believe it's been active for at least a century. Now we gotta ask, if these are biological vessels, and they're operated by a consciousness, what kind of intelligence needs manufactured bodies? Ancient language would call that spiritual. Modern language calls it non-human intelligence. Interdimensional. Now look at the map. The Puerto Rico Trench. It's about 100 miles north of Little St. James, Epstein's Island. Ghislaine Maxwell held a submarine pilot license. She pushed her Terramar project, lobbying control over international waters.
She controls the oceans around the world, and therefore I invite my dear friend, Ghislaine Maxwell, to tell us how we can own the oceans.
I grew up watching Jacques Cousteau on TV and became mesmerized with the oceans. It led to me becoming a deep water submersible pilot.
About 1% of it has been explored. However you feel about the creatures in the ocean, the more of them that we have, the better.
Why international waters? Why the ocean floor? Why position power structures next to the deepest trench in the Atlantic? If crafts are printed and biological pilots are printed, then something supplies the raw material. The DNA, the blood, the tissue. The insider described production. He described containers. He described the facility. So the question isn't whether non-human intelligence is real. The question is, what intelligence is operating them and who's been doing business with them?
His primary audience is kids, is it not?
Yeah, it's children. And now he wants to open a bank, or he's opening a bank. Your kids can get a Mr. Beast credit card. Oh boy, can't wait.
Sounds like you feel like he shouldn't be given the power and privilege that he has.
I think he's an extremely dangerous person. And I think that I wish more people knew who he was behind the camera, because I think, not the kids, but especially the parents, like I think they should know, because he is so popular and it does hold a lot of weight and influence. And even the candy bars he's selling at Walmart and stuff, like I just think parents should know what they're supporting.
Are you worried about retaliation from him or his people?
I would say that there's a reason he hasn't sued me, because if we went to court, everything would come out in discovery and stuff he doesn't probably want on his public record forever. They know what I know and I know what they know, and it's just kind of is what it is.
You're badass.
I know too much.
Yeah.
I think that's the other problem is I know too much. Wish I didn't.
Some of your biggest celebrities, Sean, biggest, are not the sex they appear to be, and some of them are AI, half AI, half human, or clones.
That's crazy.
Yes, and I'm talking really big. Genetic engineering is in my opinion, one of the biggest issues on this planet. The Anunnaki have an entire zoo of creations, and I mean life forms. So they have created so many different people that look like people, and they're not. But maybe they're really high in status and power and celebrities and sports. They were created through genetic experiment. They have an entire zoo full of life forms that they just waltz out whenever they want.
This is the box I found in the vent. It is dirty as shit. And I had a hell of a time getting that thing out of there. Things got really weird, so I'm going to be posting the video of that, but I know y'all are eager to see what's in it, so we're about to open it. So as you can probably see, it is covered in wax, and I know some people said don't open it if it is, but there's a little problem. The seal is broken. I think because it probably like heated and cooled so many times being in the vent, the wax probably just, you know, couldn't hold up. Here it goes. What? Okay. A ribbon. Weird. Okay, gross. Feels like there's something in there. It might just be some kind of filling. What the fuck? Don't fucking...
Hey, I know I'm a conspiracy theorist, but hey, who toe is this? Who toe is in my bun right now? Hey, yo, who toe is... Oh my goodness.
Did you hear that a time traveler basically said we're never getting GTA 6?
What? Why?
So there's this post going viral claiming that a time traveler came from 2573. And what he said is 2026 is going to be a movie. But there's 3 things that he pointed out that are terrifying.
What are they?
So he said in April of 2026, a supervolcano is going to explode in Italy, causing untold damage. Then in July, aliens are finally going to actually contact us, warning us of what's coming in October, which is when AI is finally going to reveal that it's been watching us for 2 years. But it's finally had enough, and it's going to take us all hostage.
Dude, that's 1 month before GTA 6.
I know, that's why everyone's asking Rockstar to release it early.
Our diplomats in Havana, Cuba, started complaining about this weird frequency being beamed to their heads, followed by short-term, long-term memory loss, brain fog, nausea, vomiting, vertigo, severe head pain, and electrical shocks to the body, specifically in the torso. Now, the interesting thing is they can't get away from the signal no matter where they go. There's a case down in Southern California. He was a politician, Dave Larson. He had 10 of these biosensors removed from his body, surgically removed. They're down to the size of a letter of a penny. Some were 4 letters on a penny, but very, very small. These were all comprised of electronic components and sensors. They transmit data in real time. It was at this point I knew that we were onto something bigger than ourselves. In 1972 is another report put out by the United States Congress, also using RF radio frequency to remotely read thoughts. Those who master psychotronic weapons will be the superpower to rule the world. My point is this: we are in a new paradigm shift. Do you know if you have this nanotech in you, you're no longer considered human? You're now considered Homo borgigenesis, is a new terminology. And I ask everyone, what happens to human rights if you are no longer the human species? And if I were to ask you, is this legal? What would you say? It's legal. In 2016, the 21st Century Cures Act was enacted, and it was marketed to the U.S. citizens. There's a section called 3024. And under Section 3024, it is legal to experiment on U.S. citizens without their consent as long as it does not exceed minimal risk criteria. People who are symptomatic are turned on. They are the beta test. The rest of the populations, once 6G comes on, according to my sources and intelligence, are saying that's when the system goes 100%. I don't believe this is about us anymore. I think it's too late. Because if you can manipulate belief systems, how powerful a weapon is that? If you can imprint memory sets into someone and they would never know the difference, that it was never theirs, that it was put there. What kind of cognitive liberties will your children have? It is going to be enslavement of the former human species, unlike anything we've ever seen in the human existence. Your children will have no freedoms to utilize their God-given rights to creativity, to free thought, to free thinking, to free will.
So do you think that 1% of that 1%, that they are actually human?
In my journey, I am now being introduced to people who have clearances above the president, which I found unbelievable. I go, how can that be? How can you have a clearance above the president? But they do exist. Apparently there's 34 levels. I asked, well, who are at those higher levels? And what was said to me, they are no longer human.
Don't save him. He's just right where he wants to be.
It's called Gregorian chant. It's sacred music. If it's mental illness, nothing will happen. But if there's some diabolical component, they're not going to be able to stand it. They're going to get up and walk away. He put speakers, started playing Gregorian chant. Guess what?
They left.
Homeless problem is gone. And when he turns on the music, he said they would get up, they would hold their ears, and they would scream. They would scream, grab their sleeping bags or pillows, and walk 4 or 5 blocks away. They didn't want to be within an earshot of that music.
If you're not rich by 2029, it's over. You have no more chances. When the AIs take the jobs, you're going to need basic income to cover all the people who lost their money. And yeah, they're going to give it to them in electronic certificates. But if you have money, I want to see them force us to give our dour bill. See, it's going to be a 2-tier system. Yes. Right now, it's a 3-tier system. You have the rich, you have the middle class, which is by far the most important, and you have the poor class. Yeah. And what's going to happen is that middle class is going to fucking get squeezed to the point where every 10 people, 3 go up, 7 go down. Then you're going to have that 2-tier system where the people on the top, oh, we still got money. We still got cash because we don't need that system. We don't need that EBT. They're not going to force us in the United States of America to the rich people. The poor people are going to have no choice. And that is why I told you people for the past year, if you don't get rich by 2029, you cooked. I ain't talking to them. I'm talking to you.
Miren hasta
Esto
el
es una
final.
cosa muy loca lo que pasa acá, cerca de mi barrio, a la vuelta de mi casa. Bueno, mi hija se ve que tiene un amigo invisible porque... Ustedes miren. Váyale, decirle que traiga el coche. Decirle que traiga el coche, decirle. Le dice que traiga el coche. ¡Ah!
No. This planet's always been controlled by evil. This is an extremely evil planet, and there's evil demons who run shit here in this planet. So when you actually ascend to that final level, you actually deserve to be there. This is a prison planet run by demons because that is the part of the Prime Creator's plan. You will be tested by these demons. They will give you money. They will give you horrors. They will give you anything you want to turn your back on morality. And if you can pass those tests through all those life cycles, then you deserve to be in the fourth dimension or whatever is the next level in the game.
I got paid by Rock Nation. Jay-Z paid off the jury, and he paid off the judge and did a verse for the judge's grandson, right? God. And he paid the Mexican dude to stab Tori in prison. And he paid off the doctor to say that she got shot when she really wasn't. And he paid off everyone else. Like yo, and I'm like, okay, this is so stupid that no one's gonna believe this.
So we're here with the head chef of Epstein Island. He's gonna be here talking about his book, Breakfast with Jeffrey. But first,
we're gonna have to ask you a couple of questions.
I expected this. I was there strictly to cook. Obviously, I didn't engage in the other things going on. I have no idea if that stuff actually happened or not.
Oh, you were in a separate part of the island. You were in the kitchen.
Yeah, I would ask to be blindfolded until I got to the kitchen.
We got to know, what are the meals that were staples on the island?
Obviously, the pizza's always a big hit. Everybody loves the pizza there. Actually, we didn't do anything aged. So it was mostly veal, mostly suckling pigs.
Younger animals.
For some reason, they just gravitated towards the taste of the younger animals.
Yeah, okay.
The people that came fluctuated so much, so it all depended on who was there. Bill would come down, Bill Clinton, obviously, former president. He actually turned vegan for a little while.
Ooh.
You know, we made it work. We had Jay-Z come down, Jay-Z, a man from New York. We made him a lot of bagels. We would ship the water in from New York, so the bagels and the pizza would taste authentically
that Hudson
New York.
salt. Yeah, no, that's great.
Yeah.
So you got to give us a weird Jeffrey story.
Yeah, something that nobody knows.
I'd say the most egregious thing he did was I would serve him breakfast. He would put ketchup on his eggs. Scrambled eggs.
Yeah. Let's talk about your book, Breakfast at Jeffrey's. It's available at Barnes & Noble. Congratulations, and thanks for stopping by and being so honest about such kind of a tough topic.
Of course, not tough for me. It's just food. It's just food. It's just food. It's just food.
Ghislaine develops this fascination with Atlantis. When she was fleeing the authorities after Epstein's murder, she gets this property in an isolated area of New Hampshire under a false name, Janet Marshall. Janet Atlantis Marshall was a feminist author. If she's using the name basically Janet Atlantis to get this property in New Hampshire, and she named Epstein's submarine the Atlantis submarine. The reason that there's an Atlantean temple on Little St. James, it's a temple dedicated to Poseidon. Poseidon was the founding god of Atlantis. And the most interesting thing that they did is they went to Fidel Castro and asked him for permission to dive on a site off the western end of Cuba, where Paulina Zalitsky had discovered an Atlantean city. There are sonar scans of this thing. The story disappeared. The last time that piece of Earth was above water was 50,000 years ago. Ghislaine Maxwell wanted to dive on this, see? She went to Castro with Epstein and asked permission to dive on this site.
Yes, but 911, can you come right now? Because I think this lady is trying to get this done. She's tripping me out.
Vamos a ver dónde hay fantasmas. Tienen que poner este efecto y luego mirar hacia todo loco y...
This is like trying to produce a human.
إيلون ماسك هسه راح ندخل غرفة راح تشوفوا المستقبل راح تشوفوا الروبوتات البشرية كيف وصلوا لمرحلة الصين.
So this is the newest robot that they got in X robot. This is the new one. In the future, the robot's gonna build robots.
طلع علي قاعدة.
It means that in the future, we're gonna have more robots. He said like the machine, we never get tired from building robots.
خلينا نشوف الذكاء الاصطناعي كيف بيستخدم.
He said, look at all these faces behind you. So which one is his face? Look for it.
This one?
Yes. Look at it.
لقيته.
لا لا لا. And here we are with the modern hospital. It's a robot making operation to a human. They cannot put a human there, so they just put a robot. So they hope that in the future, robots gonna help the human in the hospital, in operation, in medicine.
تحس حالك فيلم قاعد.
So this is like the latest skin robot they could do. You can touch the skin. It feels real.
أنو إيد حقيقي وأنو روبوت.
Welcome to the future.
Try some chicken in Kentucky. Whatever part of Kentucky I'm in, that's nasty. All chicken heads, chicken feet. Oh man, this smells so bad. All the birds, vultures around it. It says meat or like fat. They throw in the back of a trailer and it's all birds.
The Coochie Coffee Lady literally runs a health and wellness page, and she's out here telling us to wash your dirty underwear in the hotel room coffee pot. I know for a fact that hotels are scrambling right now and they're playing PR because they know that they're gonna have to put signs next to their coffee pots saying don't wash your underwear in here. I don't think any of us are gonna be able to go to a hotel room anymore and look at the coffee pot the same. I personally don't even use the coffee pot, but now every time I pass through it, I'm gonna have to look into it and see if there's a fucking dirty underwear in there. I wouldn't even be surprised if she used the same coffee pot that she used to wash her dirty underwear to brew a fresh cup of coffee. There's some things in life that we just have to take to the grave. This is one of them. Tara Woodcocks, you should have taken that to the grave. We did not need to know that. Do you know how ridiculous that sounds? That sounds so ridiculous. Do not wash your underwear in the coffee pot. Oh my god.
Hey, Ricky, almost there. Look, Mr. Camera, see? He's nice. Boop.
Ellie, what is that? Put it down. Put it down right now.
But he's soft.
That's a wild animal.
He's nice, I promise. Hello?
That Bobcat is the new house cat.
You want to know an interesting thing about psychedelics?
Yes.
They're not turning a part of the brain on. They're turning it off.
Yes. I know that actually.
They're turning it off. That
Yes.
means that we have part of our brain that's actually that's actually putting the brakes on the psychic ability and the ability to experience all this oneness and whatnot. We are dampening this down. All of our effort is going into keeping that stuff away.
Exactly.
And psychedelics they shut that part down, they quiet it down, and all of a sudden you can experience these things. So what does that tell you about reality, that they're shutting this, that psychedelics have to turn off parts of our brain in order for us to experience it?
Yes. I saw that about psilocybin, I think. And then they also proved and measured the brain of monks who meditated, and same thing as psilocybin. It was shutting down parts of the brain. And so, super fascinating. Super, super cool. How that works.
Zarathustra, a man important to the esoteric traditions, was once confronted by a gigantic shining creature made solely of spirit and was told to follow it until they landed in a clearing hosted by a circle of 6 similar spirits who invited Big Z to leave his body for a bit so he could see what they see. These creatures of spirit were called Elohim, or spirits of the sun, who created the world. They put Zarathustra through a sort of initiation where he was to pass through fire without being burned, and then they poured molten lead, the alchemical metal of Araman, onto his chest to see if he could suffer in silence. Let's briefly take notice that lead is the opposite of gold, a metal that forms within neutron stars like Cygnus X2. Lastly, they opened him up at the top of his torso to reveal the secrets of human organs. He returned from exile to tell the king the goal of the Elohim. The sun spirits, having created the world, wanted to transform it into a vast body of light. The king, clinging to his power, didn't like change and threw his ass right into prison. But Big Z was a slippery fella and dangerous at that. He escaped and taught a whole street gang from the grotto how to harness their own superpowers and was ready to fight with fire, saying, "He who fears death is already dead." This is what made Zarathustra become the archetype for what today is known as a wizard. Perhaps the age-old image of a wizard shooting electricity out of his staff isn't so far-fetched. What caught my attention was the prefix El in Elohim. Language changes only slowly over time, and all words have an origin. Sometimes its origin is older than our memory. Perhaps these creatures were luminous because of their electrical makeup. Spirits of the sun is what Zarathustra called them, and they created the world. Perhaps this is yet another ancient rendition of our scientific observation that plasma creates its own dust.
Guys, Jay-Z just changed his name on every platform. He's not Jay-Z anymore. He's now Jay-Z with the 2 dots over the Y. Conveniently timed, and we'll get into that. But not only did he put the 2 dots above the Y on every platform, but he also put it over his album cover, which is literally like rewriting history. Like, he's going back, editing these album covers. It's like, that's like scribbling in a history book, honestly. I'm not gonna lie. But guys, we all know Jay-Z's been a bad man. Well, we don't know, because we only know what they give us on the surface, but apparently this guy was a bad man. According to the Epstein files, his name was in there a lot, and it was not for good things. It was for abduction, awful things. So I'm just being observant here. I find it very conveniently timed that he would change his name and change his identity around such a time when his name is under so much backlash and getting so much heat. What do you guys think he's trying to do here? What is the goal? I mean, everybody still knows who he is. Everybody knows Jay-Z, but comment your thoughts, guys. We will see you in the next one with updates on why
Julius Caesar takes political power in 59 BC. Caesar basically kills about 1 million people and conquers deep into France. While he's in his last couple years of this, he hears word at the Senate, Cato has decided that he's going to raise political charges on him. He has this idea, if I come back to Rome, they're going to arrest me for these crimes that may be real or not real. So Caesar has about 10 legions. He leaves 9 of them at the river, and in 49 BC, he crosses the river with a legion, and he marches on Rome. What ends up happening is those politicians, including Cato, Pompey, and a lot of others, they leave the city. Caesar comes into Rome, fights no one, and he has the city of Rome. That is how you kind of get to the collapse of government. The people in political power did push him to do what he did. And when you look at how Rome collapses in that last 100 years, and if you look at modernly, even what happened with Trump, pushing charges, you put him in a position where what do you expect him to do?
This sounds just like today.
A store manager at this Circle K in North Scottsdale found a $12.8 million winning lotto ticket the day after the drawing and bought it for himself. Now, a customer walked into this Scottsdale Circle K the night before Thanksgiving, played their numbers, and left behind $25 in tickets they didn't want, but the store had already printed. That night, one of those tickets hit the 4th largest jackpot in Arizona lottery history. The next morning, the store manager found out a winning ticket was still sitting in his store, so he clocked out, took off his uniform, walked back in as a customer, and bought it for $10, according to court documents. Now, corporate found out they took back the ticket. Now Circle K is suing the manager and Arizona State Lottery, and the clock is ticking because that $12.8 million ticket expires May 23rd.
This reality is actually simulation, and this simulation has been created so that this manipulation of human perception, human reaction, human response can be constantly generated by the manipulation of the simulation. What we call the laws of physics are actually the codes of the simulation. If you look at a computer and Wi-Fi, you've got the Wi-Fi field, and what is it? It's a radiation field containing information. That's what it is in its base state. The only place the internet exists in that form is on the screen. Everywhere else, it's a Wi-Fi field or electrical circuits or whatever. I've been calling the human body since the 1990s a biological computer. We come in as consciousness, and we experience this tiny band of frequencies we call the human world via the human body, which is a biological computer. What is it doing? It's decoding the simulation.
You know Simon Cowell?
The one that everyone doesn't
had
like.
a weird ass video. Watch.
Simon Cowell.
Listen.
Pizza Land, Pizza Margarita. Now, Pizza Land doesn't exist anymore. If anyone can find me the recipe, I'll pay you $1,000.
Do you bag what he's trying to say, right?
yeah,
Because they
exactly
don't
what
run
he's
the island anymore, but he still wants to.
He still wants to eat the pizza.
Eat the pizza.
Oh, yo. The one thing I wonder is like, yo, why is pizza like always featured in like children's cartoons?
Oh,
like,
Teenage Mutant Ninja
Cause like, bro,
Turtles.
like they're always obsessed with pizza,
And they always make it look really tasty.
They're really tasty all the time.
Yo, remember that episode of SpongeBob, the Krusty Krab pizza?
Yeah.
Remember when they open the pizza and they're looking at it and it's like,
What's that? Is that the cheese?
Yeah.
And the pepperoni?
Yeah.
and then like the look on their faces is like really lustful.
Yeah, and like they're licking their lips and all that stuff.
Bro, and remember what I said? Like SpongeBob is low-key tied to the island too. Yeah. Now it all makes sense.
This is the Chinese zodiac calendar. Here you have listed each and every animal for each year. All of these animals are real, except the dragon. So this Chinese calendar made all these animals real, but the dragon is mythological. So in the process of making these animals as the representatives for the calendar, we're going to choose 11 real and 1 not, or the dragon is real. You have seen the dragon, and that's the reason why you put him there. And because all of the other 11 animals are real, then this one must be real.
On this episode of Tweaker Geographic, instead of getting a job, this specimen has chosen to pursue a full-time career in Crack Ops 7. Researchers believe this tweaker hasn't showered in over 4 years. He has set up a complete gaming station on bare concrete by stealing electric. Experts warn, if you see this tweaker in the wild, keep moving. He's already unemployed and still rage quitting.
Just the right amount of furniture, simplicity at its finest.
For the last 30 years, during the festival of Shivarati, a festival held in honor of Shiva on a night with a new moon between February and March, Sai Baba has regularly produced a series of miracles. One of these miracles consists of the materializing of vibhuti, the holy ash, making it pour out of a vase until it completely covers a statue of Shirdi Baba, the great Muslim teacher, whom he sees as his previous incarnation. Shirdi Baba, who today still has millions of followers, arrived in the village of Shirdi in 1854 and died there in 1918. He advocated a most unusual kind of eclecticism in India. He was Muslim, yet sang verses of the Veda, Hindu texts, and he welcomed members of both religions, which created a great scandal. Far more ash pours from the vase than could possibly have been inside. It stops flowing when he stops moving his hand or removes it to insert the other. It's interesting to notice how he produces more vibhuti with his right hand than with his left. What does Baba have to say about his miracles? How does he see them? They're my credentials, he says. By this he means that the Leela, miracles in Sanskrit, are divine action whose purpose is to surprise and to make people think, to deepen their perception, to lead them in their spiritual research.
There was a parasite that came in and manipulated us at the genetic level, shortened our lives, lowered our brain capacity, and psychologically devalued us as individuals, meaning our mind, constricted our minds. And this points to the Elohim are essentially a demonoid species from another dimension who have defiled nature God by manipulating our DNA. And this was the original blasphemy of nature against God. The Elohim demons came here long ago to manipulate our DNA and enslave us by compromising our practical awareness, our mind, while keeping our God awareness coding, our spiritual sense, intact. DNA carries the coding to develop the material biology that allows for a sense of a larger reality than the material landscape. Altering our DNA disempowered our development while not compromising our etheric sensitivity, creative force. They dumbed us down, they lowered the capacity of our brain down to, just 5-6%. They shortened our life. We were living probably about 1,000 years, so how much wisdom can you acquire in, say, 80-90 years in comparison to how much you could acquire in, say, 900 to 1,200 years? The reason why they prey upon us is to get access to this love and compassion energy that they cannot access. We are the intermediaries, meaning we allow them access to a form of God they cannot access on their own. And that is why we were farmed, that is why the children are tortured, the innocence is stolen from children, and that all of this whole idea of downgrading the human being. This is so that they can continue to consume that innocence. We give them access to God because as pure evil, they cannot access love. And so they access that love through the consumption of children, through the consumption of the blood that is love that flows through us. So how was the world taken over? These groups formed a relationship, cultivated, fostered a relationship with evil, with pure evil. And that evil taught them This is how you manipulate humankind. This is how you manipulate the money systems. This is how you manipulate religious systems. This is how you manipulate medical systems. You take these societies that rule humanity, put them in authority, and then whatever those authorities say is what all of society follows. So if those authorities are corrupted, which they are, then all of society becomes corrupted, because the only medicine, history, science, religion that all of society knows is the ones that have been given to them, handed down to them by the leadership. Something that everyone needs to understand very clearly. The Khazarian Mafia is a group of bloodlines. It is not a singular bloodline. There are a few very powerful bloodlines within this group, but the vast majority of the Khazarian Mafia are people who have grouped together with the same usurpative ideas of human existence. These same ideas of rulership over all humanity, and these same ideas of we are going to be and remain in power, and everyone else is simply the cattle that we feed off of and control.
And that's a wrap on this episode, fool. I hope you enjoyed it. If so, don't forget to hit and smash the like button for me, smash the subscribe button, and be part of the family. Remember, stay woke, and I'll catch you next time.